Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Redgate-Large channel. Today we have Manchester City, we have Chelsea, I guess you can say the Champions League repeat, the Champions League final repeat. That's what we've got this afternoon. And importantly as well, in terms of the Premier League, it is the top two going head-to-head. The top two going head-to-head. There's so much to talk about with these two. It's not quite as straightforward as maybe it looks on paper. If you were to look at the league, look at City sat 10 points ahead and think, actually, Chelsea don't really have a sniff. But in reality, it isn't that clear cut. It's not that night and day. City and Chelsea, both two teams that can beat each other, but it's whether who comes out on top this afternoon. And first game of the day, second game of the weekend, last night's game, of course, was Crystal Palace versus Brighton. Two teams there which were absolutely up for it as well. So hopefully we've got that today. There's a lot of talk and a lot of hype around these two teams, rightfully so. Rightfully so. Both teams are more than capable of causing an issue for the other team. And that's what we like to see. We like to see two competitive games. My one worry is I was looking at the stats, and since that 6-0, which City pummeled Chelsea to, unfortunately, pummeled Chelsea to in, 2018, 2019, this fixture hasn't had more than 3 goals ever. So over the last 2 and so years, since that 6-0, it's been really, really close. And so as a result, there is big expectations on both teams' defenses, and potentially there's a lot of pressure on those attackers because we know it's going to take a little while for these teams to break each other down. They're the two top teams, or arguably the two top teams in the division at the moment, and there's a reason for that, isn't there? And the reason for that is they are phenomenal in defence, but also good going forward. If you are in the chat, guys, be sure to let me know. Get in the chat. Let us know your score predictions. I have started a little bit early, so I imagine I will see a couple of familiar faces starting to come into the stream in a little while. I thought I'd get myself on here, guys, and then we can get talking and we can get having a listen and, listening to what everyone's got to say. Of course, Thomas Tuchel, Pep Guardiola, a massive rivalry there. There's plenty of discussion and conversation to go around these two managers and these two teams as well, importantly. Both teams, like I say, on top form at the moment. Chelsea, maybe not so. Chelsea are maybe the team that you're looking at and you go in, there are a few weaknesses there. But in terms of looking at the managers, one of the important aspects of this game to take into this game, which is phenomenally important, is the fact that Pep Guardiola has never lost more to a team in his managerial career than he has with Chelsea. And that is a massively important part and an important takeaway, because especially during the Champions League final, the FA Cup semi-final, it looked like Pep Guardiola overthought a few of his decision makings. And maybe last time out, you could argue when Chelsea lost 1-0 at Stamford Bridge that Thomas Tuchel overthought it. So there's a lot of mind games going on in this level of football as well. And it is, honestly, it's going to be a really good tactical masterclass. That's what you hope for anyway. That's what you hope for. When you look at the form coming in for the teams, City haven't dropped points since they last played these games. So since the reverse game at Stamford Bridge, City haven't dropped a point, which is phenomenal. I cannot get my head around that. Phenomenal. Chelsea have only won 2 in that time in the league, with 5 draws and losing 1. So that shows you the contrast in form. Whilst Chelsea are now unbeaten in 12 games, there is plenty that Chelsea need to improve on if they want to be able to win the league here. And this is a huge stepping stone for City to build on. Of course, City, if they win today, you pretty much like to think that they're out of sight. But Chelsea might just be able to drag themselves and drag Liverpool back into a title fight today. And it could be a big game in terms of the title race. Afternoon, Fraser. How are we doing, mate? How are we doing? Let me just move this cushion from my back. It's making me a little bit hot at the moment. I am going with, Fraser says, I'm going to go for a 2-1 City win. You might have seen it. When it comes down to it, like the semi-final and final, Pep blows it. That's the thing, though, Fraser, isn't it? Today, a lot of people could argue that this is a bit of a cup final. This is a bit of a cup final because you'd like to think, obviously not in regards to Chelsea. Chelsea still have a big task to be done if they win today. However, you'd like to think if City win today, 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Obviously, Liverpool have that game in hand over Chelsea. So you'd like to think Man City are home and hose pretty much, and we're just slightly over the halfway line, which tells you all you need to know about the importance of this game for Manchester City. They could be absolutely flying if Chelsea lose today. And Liverpool, I'm sure Liverpool fans, I know you're a Liverpool fan, Fraser, I'm sure you are hoping that Chelsea can take 3 points off City, because it doesn't really affect Liverpool's chances because you still have that game in hand. But what it does is it claws in Manchester City into, 7 points of Chelsea, and then with you guys having a game in hand as well, I think that puts you, 5 points behind? So that's provided you in your game in hand. So that is a massive thing to look at. Massive thing to look at. If you are in the chat, guys, be sure to let me know what your score prediction is for today's game. Fraser going with a 2-1. I'll get to mine in a sec once I've read out the teams. And if you are new as well, please be sure to smash that subscribe button if you do enjoy this live stream. That would be absolutely fantastic. However, let's walk through the two sides. We'll start off with the home side. And obviously, there is a big exclusion from this. I wonder if you guys have spotted it yet, but there is a big exclusion from this, and a player that is on the bench, which is strange of Pep Guardiola. However, let's have a look. So it looks like a classic Pep Guardiola, Manchester City, Barcelona, Bayern Munich 4-3-3. Expected, isn't it? Really expected. So starting off in goal is Edison, of course. No better goalkeeper than Edison in terms of distribution. Phenomenal goalkeeper. And the golfing quality between goalkeepers, I think, is a massive thing today, which could come into benefit Manchester City. But don't rule out Chelsea and their goalkeeper. Don't rule them out. Starting off in defence, of course, João Cancelo starting out on that left back with no recognised left back yet to be signed for Manchester City, and João Cancelo arguably being the best fullback on the planet right now in that left back role. Then the two centre halves, and this is where the bit of the discussion around this Manchester City team comes in. Stones Laporte, no Ruben Diaz for today, and I can confirm he is on the bench. I've been watching BT Sport this morning. He is on the bench. And so it really brings up the question, why has he dropped Ruben Diaz? You look at all the big games and the big teams, when possible, you play your best players, don't you? That's obvious. Liverpool wouldn't drop Van Dijk, and that is the equivalent of the centre half. It's the best centre half, isn't it, that Manchester City seem to have? And so that's a really big question and a really big sort of curveball to throw at Chelsea. Whereas, don't get me wrong, Stones and Laporte, more than capable debutants, and even if you put in Ake there, I think it would be a more than capable person of Josh, hang on, Josh. 4-0 City. God, go to your game. Go to your game, Josh. We don't want you in there with that negative attitude. And afternoon to Jay back as well. But like I say, dropping Diaz, a huge decision. We'll see if it's a stroke of genius or if it's silly and stupid, because I know Romelu Lukaku now will be looking at those two defenders. Maybe Laporte, you wouldn't assume as being as quick as Ruben Diaz, and John Stones, I wouldn't say is maybe as physical as Ruben Diaz. So Lukaku, the two big Lukaku, pace and power, have now been ruled. You know, he potentially could have been cancelled out there, couldn't he, with Ruben Diaz? But I think Lukaku will be going, actually, I've got a good run here and I could maybe get myself a couple of goals. Chelsea are getting bots today. Well, we'll see about that. I don't think they are. Moving on to the midfield. Oh, forgot to say, Walker's at right back, if anyone was wondering. I think it's his first game back in 4 or 5 games, Kyle Walker. Hasn't really featured because if you remember, City have been playing Nathan Ake at the left back position. And and Cancelo over on the right for the last couple of games. So including the game where Josh screamed at the ball going into the side net. So Yeah, there is plenty of talent in this City squad. There is no doubt there whatsoever. And thanks, Josh, as well. Joshua Chats Football, to going over to the Twitch. I really do appreciate that, mate. Going over there. Rumour is that Sam wants Foden to do better than Mount. Why would that ever be a rumour? Moving on to the three across the midfield, of course, this could change depending on sort of how the game is going in terms of who drops into that midfield role, who moves further forward. We've seen over the course of the season, haven't we? We've seen De Bruyne, Silva, Sterling, Grealish, Foden, I nearly said Rashford then, all playing as that false nine centre forward. So it could all change. But the way that Sofa scores and the app that I have, we're lining it up as a 4-3-3 with De Bruyne, Rodri, and Silva as the three across midfield, with then Sterling out on the right, Grealish through the middle as a false nine, and Phil Foden out on the left. So standard Manchester City, as we've always spoken about when we come to Manchester City, without a recognised striker, it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem though, because City's goals do come from anywhere and everywhere. And part of the important thing about Manchester City is, and like if you're a fantasy football addict like myself and had a really stressful day yesterday, as you were mapping out in your mind what you were going to do I move off Salah? Do I go on to De Bruyne? Whatever it was. But the thing about City, which makes them so difficult, obviously, for fantasy football, but makes them so difficult to play against, is the fact that City have so many attacking outlets and goals that can come from anywhere. We've seen De Bruyne score goals this season. Silva, at the beginning of the season, up until about November, was probably the on-for player of the season. Since De Bruyne's return, he's taken a more reserved role in that midfield. Then Sterling, last month, I think he got 6 goals last month as well. So Raheem Sterling's finding a little bit of form just when Manchester City were hoping and needing. And then obviously Grealish maybe hasn't had the start to life at Manchester City as he'd expected. Bit of a pressure on there for him. And with him not being the star now, all of a sudden everything Jack Grealish does goes from being excellent to, well, all the rest of them can do that as well. So he goes from being excellent to he's all right in this team sort of thing. And then obviously Phil Foden as well can score goals. Moving on, we'll move on to Chelsea. Chelsea also have a few controversial decisions that they have made, and especially in terms of the attacking midfield assets that are on the pitch for you. I'm sure if there are any fantasy football addicts, they would have put Mount and Jorginho in. However, neither playing today. So that does rule out the opportunity for maybe a potential double game week set for those two. However, we'll stop talking about fantasy football, even though I am obsessed at the minute. Josh is saying that Rudiger's going to get sent off as well. Rudiger knows where the line is. Geez, I have to wait 10 minutes in the chat, in the Twitch chat after following on a new account, lol. Well, thanks for following on a new account. Anyway, Fraser, I appreciate that. And Josh Chats Football might be doing a match day vlog and the same team as he went to watch last time. Nice one, Josh. Enjoy. Yeah, but I don't think Rudiger will get sent off, Josh Ring. Don't think he will. I think Rudiger knows what he's doing and he knows where the line is in terms of that. So I would like to hope and like to think that actually he's not going to get himself sent off this afternoon. But you know what Rudiger's like. He can be a bit of a hothead. He loves the drama, doesn't he? Antonio Rudiger loves the drama. You love to have him on your side, but hate him if he's not on your side. And I think that's, if Chelsea lose him to Real Madrid next season, against Real Madrid, he's going to be such a pain in the backside, because God, I love him for it, but I'm going to hate him against us. It's like someone like a Luis Suarez, isn't it? Someone who knows how to rattle you up and make you get wound up. Really, really is. Someone who just gets on the opposition's nerves. But he is starting today in a 3 at the back. Kepa starting in goal. Of course, the absent Edouard Mendy, who's playing for the AFCON. He is playing for Senegal, so he is away for, well, we don't know at the minute, a couple of weeks. I think it's likely that Senegal will go quite a long way in terms of the African Cup of Nations. So I imagine that Kepa will be getting himself at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 games in the team. And it could be a big moment for Kepa to get himself some good some good credit behind him. That's probably the best way to say it. Get some good rep from the Chelsea fans. Get the fans loving him and behind him again. That is probably the best way to say it, actually. And then the three at the back, we're going to go, well, I say we're going to go. Chelsea are going with Malang Sarr, Thiago Silva, and Antonio Rudiger. Like I said, Rudiger knows what he's doing with that. Thiago Silva, excellent professional. Maybe he's had a few wobbles in a Chelsea shirt, but tends to appear and step up on the biggest game of them all. And today is one of those occasions. And Malang Sarr as well. Quite a few people ruling out Malang Sarr, saying, "Oh, he's not the best of footballers." But don't forget, last season he was part of that Porto side that did knock out Real Madrid. Was it Real Madrid? No, we knocked out Real Madrid. Who did they knock out? Juventus, that's who it was. I thought of Ronaldo and thought Real Madrid. He was a part of that team that knocked out Juventus. And so Malang Sarr is very more than capable of playing against the big players. And he's still 22, 23. Plenty of time for this man to grow. And to be honest with you, I think he's one of the best signings we've had from that big summer of spending. Of course, you can have your criticisms around the other players in the big summer of spending. However, Malang Sarr, on a free, we signed him, he went to Porto and he's developed brilliantly. And today's a big opportunity for him. Obviously, Trevor Chalobah against Liverpool did make a mistake. However, Malang Sarr, opportunity to prove himself here and put a bit of friendly competition between him and Trevor Chalobah of who he's going to...
According to PLOS.org, first of all, competition is an enjoyable way to test your mettle against your colleagues.
Okay, thank you, Alexa. I don't know why she does that. Anyway, back to Malang Sarr. Josh says he looked decent the other night. He is a very, very competent player. I think he's a little bit, at the moment, he's a little bit underrated. But that's because he's a young man, still developing, and more than capable of putting in a good performance today. Big day, like I say, bit of friendly competition with Trevor Chalobah. And when potentially Christiansen, who's looking to move on, and Rudiger and Azpilicueta, these players who are out of contract in the summer, move on, then we've got two more than capable centre-halves there to fulfil that position and that role. Onto the or the midfield, the sort of the 3-4-3, if you will. The wing-backs are going to be Azpilicueta and Alonso. No real surprises there. Obviously, we're still without Ben Chilwell, Reece James. Players just coming out onto the pitch, by the way. We're still without these players. And so the fullbacks aren't really any surprise. I'd have been more surprised if we'd have seen someone like a Callum Hudson-Odoi, especially with the defensive... the lack of defensive awareness of Callum Hudson-Odoi against a Manchester City side that can score millions if they really wanted to. Millions, honestly. So no real surprises there. And then a bit of a surprise in midfield. Kante's come in for Jorginho. A lot of people, well, to be honest with you, I'm very surprised it's not Jorginho. And I thought it was going to be Jorginho and Kante. Admittedly, the form that Kovacic is in, I don't think you can drop him. But Kante has had minimal minutes. And I thought with Jorginho, playing in midweek, that might be a good sort of position to, make him actually play today as a bit of a sort of a warm-up game, if you will. But it's ended up being the opposite thing. And Mason Mount also played against Spurs in midweek. And he is also not playing today. So unfortunately for Jorginho and Mount, they aren't starting this game, but two more than capable debutants in terms of N'Golo Kante and Mateo Kovacic. Kante, no introduction needed. Three of, the last four in the Champions League won last season. They won 4 man of the matches out of the last 5 or something like that, which is mental. Quality player. Kovacic, we saw against Liverpool how good that man can be on his day. And then the three up front is Hakim Ziyech, who seems to love playing against Manchester City, doesn't he, Hakim Ziyech? And then Christian Pulisic and Romelu Lukaku. Christian Pulisic as well, actually, loves playing against Man City. Just reminding myself of that goal which won Liverpool the league in lockdown. Lockdown Pulisic, what a player post-lockdown Pulisic was. However, get your score predictions in the chat, unless they're like Josh's and they're very negative towards Chelsea. However, I am going to go with... I can't see there being many goals. I can't see there being 4 goals like Josh went with. So I'm going to go with Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. City score first. That is what I'm going to go with. Afternoon, Oliver. How are we doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And Oliver's back in the Chelsea blue as well, so good to see. Thank you, Oliver. I appreciate it. I appreciate the moral support on that one. We will be underway in a moment. And should be a more than entertaining game, this one. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I'm nervous, but I'm more than looking forward to it because this is what you live for, isn't it? You live for these big games, the battles of the heavyweights. That's the important part. That is the important part. And of course, Kevin De Bruyne today facing his old side, the side that signed him from Genk all those years ago now. Oh. Can Romelu Lukaku get himself a goal today as well, ladies and gents? A lot of big talking points. I'm sure some of those will be answered today. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to smash that like button and do subscribe if you are new to the Redgate-Large channel and enjoying this live stream. I'll keep you up to date with everything. And if you look on the channel as well, we do have a live stream at 3 o'clock as well. We're going to look at a relegation battle. So from top to bottom, we're going to look at Newcastle, who, of course, have a very exciting game against them. Against Watford could be a really important game. Relegation 6-pointer, just like this, is a title challenge 6-pointer. So plenty going on the Sam Redgate-Large channel. If you aren't already subscribed, the players are just taking the knee, and Sterling got up halfway through it. That just made me laugh. And we're underway there. Romelu Lukaku gets Chelsea underway. Both teams in their home blue kits. City, obviously, in their sky blue. Chelsea in their dark navy blue. And Chelsea look long instantly with a headed down ball there to Pulisic. And just ran the ball out of play there. Rodri getting on it instantly. Rodri, a very good player, Rodri, isn't it? The transition between Fernandinho and Rodri has been almost instantaneous, and people haven't really noticed that it's happened. It's been so smooth. And, of course, Fernandinho, I do believe, is the club captain. But it's been that smooth, the fact that it was like one full season. Rodri was like the understudy. Fernandinho was like the main player. Then, there's a ball over the top there from John Stones. Looking forward to Raheem Sterling. Marcus Alonso's done well there to get back, and Sterling rolls it into Silva, who has to come back all the way to Walker. City back on the halfway line again. Afternoon, Shah. How are we doing? And Oliver meant to say 1-0 City. He's messaged me. No, he didn't. Both teams looking bright in these first few moments, I must say. Romelu Lukaku, another touch like a trampoline there. And Fraser's now gone over to the Twitch channel. Lovely stuff, Fraser. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. Chelsea can do quite a few teams a favour today with a win. So hopefully Chelsea can get themselves a win. I'm honestly really, really nervous for this game because there's no doubt the talent in this. No doubt the talent in this City game. Jesus, that was a voice crack and a half, wasn't it? Yeah, just going back on Rodri, whilst the ball is sort of in the middle of the field here, bit of midfield possession for the two teams. The transition was almost seamless, wasn't it, from Fernandinho to Rodri? It's almost like the first season, he was a bit of an understudy. Second season, though, he got a bit more game time. And then I guess what you would say is, thanks to injuries and obviously now Fernandinho sort of looking to go into his twilight years of his career, that transition has been easy because Rodri was able to learn from Fernandinho at the time. What was so good about Fernandinho, and he was able to learn that with Fernandinho still at the club. And now it's just that almost that opposite of the transition where Fernandinho at first had all of the games and Rodri was the understudy, but now Rodri's really starting to take the reins, and he's maybe not quite as aggressive as Fernandinho is. But I'd also say he's probably a little bit better on the ball. So he's a good combination of the two for Manchester City. And I think he's been important to the success of Manchester City so far this season. Given away by Sterling there in a really high up position there. Could have been a good opportunity if he'd have found Phil Foden. Let's see who's starting in this sort of false nine at the moment. It looks like it's Phil Foden. Ball clipped forward there looking for Romelu Lukaku, but just read really well by Aymeric Laporte. You should be nervous. City have been unbeaten in like 9 games. But the thing is, City, out of the last 4 games that City have played against Chelsea, they have lost 3. And the last one was obviously that 1-0 at the beginning of the season, which we did lose. So, there was a ball clipped over the top there, looking towards Grealish, and Kepa ran out. And the reason I made such a strange noise there was because as Kepa runs out, he goes to clear it, clears it onto Aspilicueta, and, well, it was in God's hands, wasn't it, where that rebound went to? And from the look of the camera, it looked like it was going to go back towards Kepa's goal, but it has gone behind instead for a corner. Looks like it's just winded the captain as well of Chelsea, Cesar Aspilicueta, hit him straight in the stomach. Didn't have time to prepare there. Did not have time to prepare. Chelsea are also unbeaten in quite a few games. We're unbeaten since we played West Ham, but that's across all comps. De Bruyne is going to whip one in here. He's going to put it onto Kepa. Intrigued to see if they continue doing that, because there's always a mistake in Kepa, but I am intrigued to see if he will continue sort of putting the ball on Kepa, looking to cause him a few problems and make Kepa make the mistakes like he has done in previous games against City and Liverpool on the biggest stage of them all. Interestingly, Rudiger's out on that right-hand side. He usually sort of comes in off that left centre-back role and drives forward and is an option for the likes of Timo Werner and Marcus Alonso. However, today, because of Malang Sarr being in the team, who I do believe is a left footer, he is going to be on the right-hand side. So a slight change there for Rudiger. I'm sure he's more than capable of poor pass there from Romelu Lukaku, and Sterling picks up the ball. I think he's more than capable of playing that role. Shah says, Sam, I'm saying Mendy is Team of the Year goalkeeper this year. He's done amazing. To be honest with you, I don't know how anyone can argue any differently. He's been fantastic in the league. And like people saying Donnarumma, he had a good tournament, but this was a goalkeeper that didn't play in the Champions League for half the season. So I don't know how you can justify giving someone like that, not unless they've had a world-class European Championships, which to be honest with you, I don't think Donnarumma did have a world-class European Championships. He had a great European Championships, but to the same level, I think Eduard Mendy was much more impactful. Obviously, the penalty saves for Italy were very impactful, but you know what I mean? I just think overall he was a lot better. Kepa back to himself again, making mistakes, I think, today. I don't think so. I'm not sure that's how it works. I already mentioned this earlier on, Oliver, when City beat Chelsea 6-0, because that is the last time, I think for about 5 games. So in the last sort of 3-4 years, that there has been more than 3 goals in one of these games, which obviously 3 goals isn't, few goals, but it's also not a lot of goals. So it shows how close that these games have been, and they've never been sort of like 3-0ers. They've always been 2-1, 1-0, 1-0. In this fixture. Sterling trying to go past Marcus Alonso here and does so with ease and wins himself a foul there. Does he? He has given it as a foul there. He's given it as a foul. Sterling goes straight past Marcus Alonso. Alonso just, tugs him back, pulls him on the shirt. And Sterling, to be honest with you, there's not much contact on the back of the leg. It is just Marcus Alonso trying to move his legs around sort of thing to make sure he doesn't stand on him. Makes contact. Marcus Alonso, the first man in the book, though, so far today. 7 minutes in, already in the book. I'm being honest, I don't think there will be any United players for Team of the Year. No one has played good. I don't think there will be. Not unless Ronaldo's Juventus will carry him over. Kepa, probably Happy Aguero not here to score a hat-trick. Yeah, that's probably true, Fraser. Probably true, I must say. Kevin De Bruyne to whip in this free kick here. Looking for the head of Aymeric Laporte. Headed clear, though, by Malang Sarr. Really convincing header there. And they've got it all the way up to the halfway line here with Kyle Walker. Sterling a diver. I wouldn't say it was a dive from Raheem Sterling there. I don't think there was enough contact. But obviously, you don't know how much contact has been felt on the leg. And Raheem Sterling being not the tallest of blokes and not the strongest of blokes, when someone's that agile, it's very easy to knock someone over, especially when they're running at full speed like Raheem Sterling was in that position. Lovely ball there into Raheem Sterling, but good defensive play by Kovacic, who can get Ziyech away here. He drops his shoulder really well, actually, there. Takes 2 City players out the game just with one drop of the shoulder and can distribute the ball back to the Chelsea defenders and just have a bit of calm. But Thiago Silva putting Kepa under a bit of pressure here. Chelsea trying to play the way out, nearly played the way into trouble, but looks like they've just done enough there, Chelsea, at the moment. But Rudiger nearly gives it away again. Oh, Chelsea, you're living life dangerously here, playing the ball around the back, and there we are. Rudiger's hoofed it up forward, looking for Ziyech. And that's all Chelsea needed to do there. But it was good play, but it's also very, very risky. And some of the passes and some of the pressure from Manchester City made it really sort of difficult for Chelsea to get out there. But they did it, and they didn't make the mistake. But mistakes are going to happen if you keep playing with such fine margins like that. Mistakes will happen. Especially then when you play it back to Kepa and you're not actually looking at him. I'm looking at you there, Thiago Silva. Here is Thiago Silva. Rudiger. Chelsea really struggling to get away from a Man City player here. It looks like they've got 12 men on the pitch. There's that many of them surrounding them. And Lukaku's been able to shrug off John Stones here. Lukaku driving into space, rolls it into Ziyech. Ziyech is definitely offside. I don't know why Lukaku's not hit that. He should have hit it. Lukaku did really well there. I think it was John Stones he shrugged off there to get the ball. Let's watch it again. It's Laporte, actually. He shrugs off. Sorry, it is John Stones. And then he drops his shoulder well to get away from Walker. And then he's tried to be unselfish and clip it into Ziyech. And Ziyech is offside anyway, but the pass isn't good. I think Lukaku there from the edge of the box should be having an effort. And honestly, I don't think anyone will complain when a 100 million striker takes a shot on from the edge of the box. I don't think anyone will complain. It was good play, though, from Romelu Lukaku. We haven't maybe seen that in a Chelsea shirt as much at the moment. That almost bullying off the ball, which we've seen him do at Inter, which we've seen him do at Everton. We haven't really seen that, and that's because Chelsea don't really play the same way that the Inter and Everton have played. In the teams that Romelu Lukaku usually plays in, he's usually had the team around him play into Romelu Lukaku. You've got him there, play to his strengths. But Chelsea don't seem to do that. Chelsea still seem to like to play with their wide men, go up and down the flanks, play the ball into Lukaku, almost use him as a bit of a wall and just play the ball off him. And so Lukaku hasn't really had the opportunity to spin a man like he did there with John Stones. And it's difficult for Lukaku because he is playing in a different formation, a different setup, but also he shouldn't react the way he did and make interviews like that where you call out the team for not playing to your strengths. Because whilst Everton, Jack Grealish going down the left-hand side here, trying to get away from Rudiger. Rudiger's done really well there. Really good play there from Rudiger. Whilst Everton and, Inter Milan and to some degree Manchester United in that first season, that they're able to build the team around him. He's got to realise that he's coming into a Chelsea side here that are European champions. And so excuse me. And so no matter what Romelu Lukaku does, this team is already European champions, and to make a big change in European champions team is often a massive risk. And someone like an Everton, of course, Everton are gonna build a team around them, but Chelsea have 11 players who have already won the Champions League for them, like a first team that's already won the Champions League for them. So Lukaku needs to bear that in mind, and just especially with comments and stuff like that. That's a ball over the top there, looking for De Bruyne. Foden's in the middle. De Bruyne trying to pull it back and really well defended there. Good defensive awareness there from Marcus Alonso to clear it as De Bruyne looked to pull it back. City looking to play the ball over the top quite a bit at the moment. Maybe exploit a few gaps in behind Chelsea's defence. Chelsea seem to be playing quite a high line at the moment. Sterling goes down to the byline again, whips one in. Oh, Kepa didn't decide whether he'd stay or go there, and it's been flicked on, and Cancelo off the left-hand side. He's going to cut in on his right foot, blocked by Aspilicueta, and Kepa can't save it from going behind for another Manchester City corner. City always have that ball on, though, over the top. It's like a role reversal from the Champions League when Timo Werner was on. Complete role reversal. Chelsea seem to look over the top quite often when they play Manchester City because they're aware that there's gaps there. Played short here by Man City. whipped in, looking for John Stones on the header at the back post, straight into the hands of Kepa, though. Good header, but easily saved by Kepa. City trying something different from a corner, maybe something from the training ground here. Chelsea trying to play the way out again, and it's giving me real anxiety at the moment. But at the moment, they're doing it okay. So here we go. Here's Ziyech, who's going to roll the... Oh, Ziyech, he's over at the pass. Really over at the pass there. Thomas Tuchel absolutely fuming there. If he'd have played Lukaku through there, he had the right angle, right trajectory on the ball, but he's just too much power. Hopefully Villa don't play their new signings. I mean, I don't know with Villa if they will play the new signings. I can imagine Digne playing more than I can Coutinho, because I think Coutinho will need a couple of days. I was going to risk FPL with Coutinho, but also we haven't seen Coutinho in the Prem for a few years now. We need to see what sort of level he's at, and potentially could be even better. Who knows? He could be even better. If you look at the stats for Phil Coutinho, it's not really the stats that have dropped off. It's more having problems with Barcelona and the problems that Barcelona have had. He's just become very much a part of, he was a victim of that, and so that is the problem with that. Afternoon, Active Aaron, how are we doing, mate? How are we doing? It's been a while, never fear. Active Aaron is here. And Coutinho to score a banger versus Manchester United. It would be very Phil Coutinho, wouldn't it? Very Phil Coutinho. I am streaming the Newcastle game later, Aaron, if you fancy joining me for that one and getting in the chat. Sam, I noticed that you have subscriber-only mode switched on. Yes, I do. But you literally only have to have... you only have to be subscribed for... Like, you literally just click subscribe and then you can talk. So it's not like there's a wait time or anything like that. So it's just to try and encourage a few people just to, get in the chat a bit more and subscribe to the channel, of course. And then if I say anything controversial, they can have a go back at me, but I gain a subscriber for it. So that's the idea. 15 minutes on the clock. So far, the better chances have really fallen to Manchester City so far. Chelsea holding resilient and firm at the moment, able to play out as well from the back. Here's Cancelo trying to get away from Aspilicueta. Laporte, who's got his Phil Foden haircut by the looks of things. I'm Eric Laporte. Here's Sterling. Sterling's running Alonso ragged at the moment. Don't think he'd get that much freedom with Ben Chilwell in the team. Rolled into Phil Foden there. Foden's done really well to flick it to Sterling. Sterling's going to drive into a bit of space here. Sterling, really good run there. And Malang Sarr, oh! Oh, it's a really good tackle. I couldn't tell if Sterling had kicked it. I was holding off. I was holding that off. Sam, switch that off so other people can see your live stream and comment on, so they can think about subbing, if that makes sense. Yeah, I try it for different ones. So like ones where it's like not as busy, I have subscriber mode on, and then ones where it's less busy. Where it's more busy, I'll leave it off. So like the Newcastle one potentially could be a busier one. I'll probably leave that one off. But there we are. Malang Sarr, though, there. I must say, I was really nervous for that tackle, but Malang Sarr made a really good tackle, put a really good foot in. I must say, it was like I just didn't know if it was Sterling's foot who kicked the ball clear, because obviously that's the problem, isn't it? You can't see from up here, but it was beautifully timed. And Malang Sarr was actually adamant that it was a Chelsea goal kick. Kepa's going to take the goal kick, hoof it up the field here. Bit of argy-bargy there between Marcus Alonso and Kyle Walker. City seem to have had very few COVID cases at the moment. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. Like Liverpool have had loads of players out, Trent. Chelsea have had their fair few. They've had like Timo, they've had Kai, they've had quite a few of them. But City seem to they've been quite fortunate. Maybe that's something that Pep's instilled in them. Maybe there's a few rules for the home life that they're not allowed to do, not allowed to go out, not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that. So maybe that's something. Oh, Kyle Walker. I think Marcus Alonso's got in his head a little bit there. That was a bit of a shove there from Kyle Walker. He's quite fortunate that Ziyech didn't react there because Ziyech is doing really well. Yes, there's an arm in Kyle Walker's face from Ziyech, but that's Ziyech just trying to get away from him, trying to push him away. Very, very clumsy there from Kyle Walker. Chelsea play the ball forward there, looking for Lukaku. Lukaku can't quite make the right decision, though, with the pass and couldn't find Christian Pulisic. And City, it's their turn to be pressed there. But that's the thing. City there, Bernardo Silva just looked long, took the pressure off him, hit the ball forward, whereas Chelsea are constantly trying to, there we are, Kepa's finally hoofed that one there, but Chelsea are trying to play the ball out, and it gives you a level of like anxiety and stress because like Bernardo Silva just went, not worth it, hoof it up the field, try hit Phil Foden, try get Phil Foden running in the channel, whereas Chelsea just seem to constantly be trying to, play the ball out from the back. It's admirable, but we've seen, we saw in the FA Cup, you see teams that try and play out, and playing out isn't always the best way to go about it because it does cause problems for you. But 20 minutes in, so far it's worked for Chelsea, but I am worried that they will make a mistake in terms of playing it out. Whereas City, they know when to play it out, and obviously Pep's instilled that in them. And at the moment, they know also when to look long and look for that channel and play Phil Foden down the channels, who looks to be in that false nine position at the moment. Grealish off the left. De Bruyne is quite advanced, though, as well. Rolled into Phil Foden here. He's going to go wider to Jack Grealish. He's going to square up with Rudiger. Tries to back heel it, looking for João Cancelo. And Cancelo's fouled Rudiger there, trying to win the ball back. Shah says, BRB going to get my lunch having fried eggs and a salad. Wow, very healthy of you, Shah. Very healthy. Very admirable. I'm sure Aaron would love that. I'm sure he'd love that peak of fitness and health there, Shah. And Active Aaron say you should see Lascelles try playing out from the back. God, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. But Newcastle going in for Diego Carlos. That's big news. 28-year-old Diego Carlos, very, very highly rated. He's been in La Liga Team of the Seasons a few seasons ago as well. So a very highly rated player to go in for. And for about 20 million, I'm quite surprised. I know he's 28, and obviously that is a bit of a negative, but I'm quite surprised. 20 million seems like a bit of a steal if you can get there. Kovacic wins the ball back nicely here, rolls it into Ziyech. Ziyech is going to try put a ball in, but a poor cross again. Ziyech's passing range at the moment just isn't up to it. He's just not quite got his sights on. And Christian Pulisic as well just doesn't look 100% at the moment. City on the counter-attack here. Here's Rodri. Chelsea have got men back now. Rolls it out wide to Bernardo Silva. Silva up against Marcus Alonso. He's going to try and dance his way inside. Pulls it back to Rodri. Jack Grealish is at the back post trying to win that header. Can he get the ball? He's won it again there and rolled it back into Raheem Sterling. Sterling, where can he go here? Has to come back to João Cancelo. Sterling. City just slowed down the tempo there because there's every Chelsea man behind the ball here, including Romelu Lukaku, every single man behind the ball. Kyle Walker looking to whip one in there. Ziyech doing his defensive duties. De Bruyne finds Rodri. Out to that right-hand side to Walker again. Just testing their patience here. Looking for a gap, as Manchester City do so exquisitely. Just looking for a gap, waiting for a single mistake, a single piece of poor positioning. Grealish finds Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva rolls it in. Oh, that was nearly the ball of the season, that was, from Bernardo Silva. He rolled it through the legs of Malang Sarr, but because it's come through the legs, and obviously Sterling, who's making that run in behind Sarr, can't see the ball because it's come through the legs of Malang Sarr, but a really good ball there from Bernardo Silva, and it has gone out for a Chelsea goal kick, and Chelsea trying to play out from the back here, and Rudiger just tried to clear that, and it's bounced off the head of Jack Grealish and back into the hands of Kepa, fortunately for Chelsea. Here's Marcus Alonso. Oh, Chelsea they keep going back every time they're playing out. They're looking to go backwards rather than forwards. I think we have been going big with bids on centre-back. Hopefully they get one over the line next week. I mean, I think 25 mil for a man such as Diego Carlos is a bit of a steal, to be honest with you. And I'm quite surprised that no one else is going in for him. But admittedly, if someone else does go in for him, the only way that Newcastle are going to eject it is if they go, no, that's just not worth our time. De Bruyne into the hands of Kepa there. Just testing the palms of Kepa there. City hitting on the counter-attack, and they're moving the ball fast when they get the ball forward. It was Cancelo there who rolled in Jack Grealish, and then Grealish. And to be honest with you, Grealish, De Bruyne, there was Grealish, De Bruyne, and Foden up against 3 Chelsea defenders. So they maybe should have done a little bit better with that. Obviously, Kepa not included in that either. But they should have maybe done a little bit better than that, than what they did there. But that's what happens when you attack up the flanks. You do give yourself a few problems because you're not obviously directly in front of the goal, which makes the shot from De Bruyne a bit more difficult. Pass accuracy so far, 91% for Man City, but the passes, 144 for Manchester City, only 70 for Chelsea. Bernardo Silva trying to trick his way into the box here. Raheem Sterling, good drop of the shoulder there from Raheem Sterling. Sterling, marked by 2 though, rolls it back to Rodri. Is Rodri going to line one up? No, looks to clip one into Jack Grealish. Marked by Azpilicueta, a bit clumsy from Azpilicueta, rolled in there by João Cancelo, but cleared by Rudiger. Rudiger standing firm, and Kante's done really well actually there to get himself a throw-in. Aaron says, I don't think we'll get him for that. Teams keep moving the goalpost with the price. That's what's happening with Botman. Yeah, I know Botman's not going to be going to you at all now, according to Fabrizio Romano. The deal's off. But that's the thing. That's always going to happen when you're the world's most richest club. You're like, well, we might as well try and get an extra 4 or 5 mil out of you. And obviously all that does is just infuriate Newcastle's owners and those who go out and make the bids for Newcastle because, they might have all this money in the world, but also your player isn't valued at that much. So it's a really difficult one, a really, really difficult one. We may see because of it that some of the other richer clubs now are able to not get bargains, but be able to get players a little bit cheaper just because they're like, actually, we've already sold this person. Bernardo Silva into the box here. Rolled back to Raheem Sterling. Sterling against Marcus Alonso. Alonso's having a real tough time in this game. Sterling, lovely turn there. Flicks it, looking for Bernardo Silva. Well read, though, by Malang Sarr. And it's out for a Man City throw-in, I do believe, deep inside the Chelsea half. Chelsea standing strong, but Marcus Alonso's really getting exposed. They're doubling up on this left-hand side, Chelsea left-hand side, with Bernardo Silva and Raheem Sterling, both on Marcus Alonso, making it a really difficult time for the Spanish fullback. Chelsea, can they counter-attack here? No, Lukaku's giving the ball away here, but he's going to chase down Aymeric Laporte, who has to go all the way back to Edison. Fraser says, come on, I need my 2-1 for my prediction. Good luck, Fraser. Good luck. How's my phone doing? Is my phone charged? Yeah, no, 77%. They're taking the mick if we pay over the odds. Then we plateau quicker with financial fair play. They are skint, though, so may need maybe more willing later in the window. Exactly. And part of the problem is, because it's a January window as well, a lot of teams are like, well, a month isn't long enough for us to go out, scout, find another player. Like, if the talks will get ongoing, like someone like with a Trippier, where they were ongoing before the window opened, Atletico knew that was coming, and they're able to, they've got Marcus Llorente, who can play as a wing-back. They've got players like that who are able to play there. And so Newcastle coming in for these players, they're like, yeah, we'll offer you this. And they're like, is that enough for us to go out and buy a suitable replacement? Because these replacements have got to come from somewhere. That's the main part of it. These replacements have got to come from somewhere. And if you don't have them in your team, and you can't buy a young lad like Everton did from Rangers or someone like that, then that is the problem for you. De Bruyne is giving the ball away here to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta has Pulisic wider. Pulisic is going to try drive into the box here. Pulisic looks to pull one back, falls somehow to Azpilicueta, and Pulisic is offside there. Azpilicueta wasn't very clever there. Fine release clauses and steal our rivals' best players like Wood. Yeah, that was a good move. That actually a bit of a class move, but I still don't know how much it was. Was it about 20 mil? Because rumour had it that it was more like 25 mil. And quite a few people were like, well, 25 mil for a 30-year-old. You then going, it's 25 mil, but 20 mil just feels right, sort of thing. But when you take in an experienced player off a rival, a relegation rival, then then that is definitely something that benefits you, and it's worth the extra couple of mil. They are now linked to Andy Carroll to replace him. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Andy Carroll against Fulham, he had 2 disallowed goals. He had 2 disallowed goals, which is pretty amazing if you've looked at them. 2 absolute bangers from Andy Carroll, both disallowed, unfortunately. Admittedly, Reading still lost, 7-0, so it would have only been 7-2, but you don't know how the game could change with an overhead kick from Andy Carroll. Who knows? Chelsea trying to play out from the back here again. Aspilicueta finds Pulisic into Kante. Kante has 3 men around him, goes back to Pulisic. Chelsea are staying calm, though, when they're trying to play the ball out here. Rudiger into Kovacic. Kovacic finds Pulisic. Pulisic finds Kante. Kante, bit of room there. There we are. Chelsea trying to get themselves out here. Malang Sarr's going to look forward there. He's looking for Hakim Ziyech, and it's just spannered off his foot a little bit there from Malang Sarr. But he chose the right time to try look forward there and play the ball forward, because City were moving from the left-hand side over to the right-hand side. Obviously, that's Malang Sarr's side, and so Ziyech had a bit of room there. So it was the right time to try and play the ball forward. But Chelsea, they don't fill me with confidence trying to play the ball out at the moment. This week, our level of desperation for a striker was really high. We just needed to pay it. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what you've got to bear in mind. Obviously, Callum Wilson is still out. So, whereas it is needed, like when Callum Wilson comes back, you'll be like, oh, well, he's a backup. He's maybe not there for the long term. But there isn't a long term if you get relegated, if you know what I mean, because the team will change if you get relegated. And the team will change then when you come back up. So there's no real long term unless you buy someone who's willing to stay and commit themselves to helping you get back up, if that were to happen, obviously. But someone like a Chris Wood should surely fire you to safety. But he's only scored 3 times this season. Popping back to say good luck with the stream. I have my GCSE mocks on Monday, so I'm doing revision here now. No worries, Josh. Good luck with your mocks as well, mate. Hopefully they go well for you. So, back to Thiago. They're just talking about Jorginho, and I think maybe the calm, composed head of Jorginho would be something that would benefit Chelsea in this game, because Chelsea on the ball, they do look good, but I just worry every time the ball goes into Kante, because I know he's not the best on the ball himself, that is he gonna give the ball away? Is it going to be poor touch? But he's also so agile. He's given the ball away there. And Mateo Kovacic has had to foul Bernardo Silva there to stop a counter-attack. So literally just as I say that, Chelsea do exactly what I expected. And, Kante gives away the ball and Kovacic has had to put in it's not a bad tackle. I mean, it's from behind. There's no real contact, so it wasn't like an injuring tackle. But that's exactly what I mean. Kante on the ball doesn't fill me with confidence, whereas someone like a Mateo Kovacic next to a Jorginho, both of whom very confident on the ball, able to sort of whip the ball whenever they want and be calm and composed on the ball, it makes it so much easier. If we end up in another lockdown come May, June, the results of the mock grades will count. Yeah, I don't think we will. I don't think we'll be in another lockdown in May, June. We've not had a summer one, have we? We've not really had a summer lockdown. And to be honest with you, admittedly, Boris has lied about a few things, but he has said that there will be no more lockdowns. And to be honest with you, I don't think most people will be able to. I think most people would ignore him anyway. That's the problem with it now, isn't it? But I don't think you'll have that problem. But either way, Josh, smash it and do your best, mate. De Bruyne's whipping this corner, looking for the head there of Aymeric Laporte. Cleared, though, by, I think that was Marcus Alonso in there. It's been headed back in, headed clear again, though, by Malang Sarr. Here's Bernardo Silva trying to get at Marcus Alonso yet again. He's being marked as well by Ziyech. Ziyech coming back and doing his defensive duties. And City fans in that corner, absolutely adamant that was a foul. And so is Bernardo Silva, giving a bit of jip to the linesman there, expecting a foul. But The referee and the linesman both deemed it not to be a foul, just a shoulder to shoulder. Chelsea might be able to counter-attack here with N'Golo Kante, but City, I swear City have got an extra player on the pitch. They just seem to have so many players on the pitch at the moment. So many players. So many players, and Malang Sarr there. Just not on the right wavelength between Marcos Alonso. Thought Marcos Alonso was going forward. Marcos Alonso actually stepped to his right, back towards his own goal, and has only succeeded there in giving the ball back to City. Really, really difficult game to size up this one. I was almost expecting a goal quite early on with one of the teams to have switched off sort of thing, but City looked really good and confident on the ball. Marcos Alonso, really good header there from Marcos Alonso there. The ball just clipped in behind looking for Sterling. That seems to be City's out ball at the moment. Go attack Marcos Alonso's side, exploit that defensive mind of his that maybe isn't quite as good. Just imagine playing a football game 15 versus 15. Oh, it'd be chaos, wouldn't it? Like in rugby, it'd be chaos if it was 15-15. Cancelo to take a throw in inside the Chelsea half into Foden, back into Cancelo. Cancelo finds Foden again. Foden's going to run into a bit of space. Lovely run there from Phil Foden, who's going to put one across the box there. But Marcos Alonso had plenty of time to take that down and turn. And Sterling's given away a foul there on Marcos Alonso inside the Chelsea box. How many defenders would Jose have at the back? Jose would have all 15 if he could. If they're doing 15 versus 15, Jose Mourinho would literally have 14 and Tammy Abraham just like up front in that Roma team. That's how it'd be. I can see it now. It was a really good run, though, there from Phil Foden. Really positive run, direct run in. Maybe I haven't seen enough of that of Phil Foden, especially in an England shirt. Maybe I haven't seen enough of that, but he was creating opportunities for himself there rather than obviously playing in a fantastic team like he is. A lot of the time, the opportunities are created for him rather than just creating it for himself. Marcos Alonso, though, the commentator's just speaking about how calm he was there, and I think there is credit where credit's due there to Marcos Alonso. He's had a rough sort of first 15, 20 minutes there, and he's starting to grow into this game. And yes, Bernardo Silva and Sterling are doubling up on him, but you know, at the moment he's dealing with them, and Ziyech is doing his defensive duties as well. And I think Thomas Tuchel has seen that. That's a ball looking long there for Jack Grealish, but Kepa comes out really well, puts it out for a throw-in. No issues there, no worries. And it is a Manchester City corner. Kepa taking no chances. And maybe that's what we need to see from Kepa. Kepa, obviously, with the ball at his feet, he does take a few chances. He's not bad on the ball with the ball at his feet, but he does like to take a few chances. And with a player such as himself, who's a little bit out of confidence from the last couple of seasons, he just needs to take it steady. He just needs to take it steady. And a decision like that, just to play it out for a throw-in, when Jack Grealish is running down at you, you can't knock it whatsoever, can you? Can't knock it whatsoever. Bernardo Silva's going to look to play one in behind for Sterling. That's another lovely ball. And Malang Sarr done really well there against Raheem Sterling. He looks really good at the moment, Malang Sarr. It will be a City corner, though, by the looks of things. Malang Sarr is so quick as well. I think that's something I didn't realise myself. He is really, really quick. Created a wall of players on the line for 90 minutes. I mean, that might actually be a strategy. You just get like an Adama Traore in a 15 versus 15 up front by himself and just create a line of like 4 goalkeepers. Admittedly, then you have no offside rule, which is the problem with it. I'm sure the offside rule would have to change. Rodri finds Aymeric Laporte. Had to come back to the halfway line here, City. Oh, bit of a dodgy touch there from Cancelo, but if anything, it actually benefited him because it gave him a bit of momentum to move on to. De Bruyne. Oh, good. Well read there from Marcos Alonso. We've got about 8 minutes to go until half-time on this game. Obviously, it's really sort of been dominated so far by Manchester City. No real clear-cut opportunities in that sense. Maybe a header from John Stones early on in the game. But other than that, not really too many big sort of key moments to think about, but that's a lovely ball over the top. Just trust me to say that. De Bruyne rolls it across, looking for Grealish. Really well played there by Rudiger. De Bruyne might have been offside, but Rudiger doesn't know that. And that's a really, really good piece of play. De Bruyne was offside by the looks of things, so if he had rolled it over to Jack Grealish and Grealish had scored, that wouldn't have counted. But really good play there from Antonio Rudiger. Stayed switched on. Signed 4 foot tall fat blokes from the stadium to make it larger while on the line. That could work. You know. I'm sure if we come up with this 15 versus 15 football, there must be like a rule that implements that to not happen. Otherwise, it'd just be the most boring thing in the world. But I guess there isn't that in football either. It's just obviously you just wouldn't be very attacking. Kovacic, is he fouled there by Bernardo Silva? He is deemed to have. Alongside, just take your time, mate. You've got like 6 City players within like 5 yards of you, and you've got a free kick. Just chill out. Goes back to Kepa there. Red card for anyone on the line. Only allowed the goalkeeper to be. That seems like a good way to sort it. But oh my gosh, that's fallen to Jack Grealish. Grealish. Oh, what a save! Get in, Kepa. What a save! It was a bit of a mistake from the Chelsea defenders. Let's watch it again. Marcus Alonso rolls it into Kovacic. Kovacic, he tries to play it to Kante. De Bruyne's press is really good. It falls to Grealish, and that's a big left thigh from Kepa Arrizabalaga to put that one behind. A really good save there from the Spaniard in goal. That'll fill him with confidence. A really good save there. A really good save. Oh, that was like, you know, when Muller ran through in the game against Germany, and we were all like, oh my God, Muller's going to score here. It's Thomas Muller. Of course he scores here. That was like that for me there. Oh my gosh. What a sigh of relief that was. Strikers pelting the ball really hard at fat blokes will be very entertaining. Yeah, if you're one of the strikers, not if you're one of the fat blokes. Pulisic there with a heavy tackle on Cancelo, out for a throw-in though. And Pulisic has gone down there. I'm not sure why. Let's watch it again. Cancelo stops it just before it gets to the line. Oh! He does stamp on him quite high up, actually. He does stamp on him quite high up there, Cancelo. He's going for the ball, but he does stamp on him quite high up. Shah's back as well. What's happening? Who's doing better? I mean, Jack Grealish just had a golden opportunity to score, Shah. That's all you've missed. And Kepa with a fantastic save, a really good save. It was about that press. You know, I was talking earlier about Chelsea trying to get themselves out, City pressing hard. And they struggled. They struggled to get out on that point. Kovacic gave the ball away, bounced off De Bruyne, fell to the feet of Grealish, and Grealish should have scored. But a phenomenal save, phenomenal big thigh from Kepa Arrizabalaga to keep Chelsea at 0-0 at the moment. God, it's difficult, isn't it? It is difficult playing against Manchester City. De Bruyne finds Foden. Is Foden fouled there? Referee says no. Chelsea getting a bit of luck here with some of the refereeing decisions. Kovacic finds Pulisic. Can Chelsea go forward themselves here? Pulisic finds Marcus Alonso. Get the men up the field. Come on. We need to attack. Otherwise, we're just playing for a 0-0 if we carry on like this. And that doesn't really benefit us. This is our opportunity to get this title race slightly back on. Even if it doesn't get it back on for us. Oh, Rudiger taking his eye off that there. And has he fouled? No. Referee says he's not fouled Jack Grealish there. Jack Grealish is absolutely fuming, and so is Thomas Tuchel, because there's a couple of risky passes that are slipping into Chelsea's game here. Bernardo Silva doing his defensive duties there. It's all getting a bit scrappy here from both teams, but it's fallen to De Bruyne. I'm sure he'll bring a bit of class there. We are. De Bruyne's just calmed the game down there for Manchester City. It's getting a little bit scrappy. Sign Sam up to be the mannequin on the line. All you'd have to do for that is just tense your bicep, and then poof, the ball pops out of the way, Aaron. That's what we train at the gym for, right? Isn't it? Maybe. Rodri finds Stones. Stones into Foden. Foden's going to switch that, obviously. Oh, he's played it a bit behind Cancelo, though. Cancelo's done really well, actually, to get that touchdown. Rolls it into Jack Grealish. Grealish, is he going to try pull it back? He does pull it back, looking for De Bruyne. De Bruyne's going to shoot! And it's way, way over there by Kevin De Bruyne. Chelsea are really under the cosh at the moment. They need to get themselves on the ball. They need to get themselves on the ball and try get their way through this City press, because it is constant pressure for Chelsea. Hulk mode, the incredible large. Exactly. Just watching this big chance again for Grealish, and I think he should score there, you know. A player of Jack Grealish's quality needs to have a bigger finish there, but it's a brilliant save from Kepa Arrizabalaga. A brilliant, brilliant save. That's a foul from... Surely that's a foul on Marcus Alonso there from Kyle Walker. He's just put his elbow into him. I think that's going to be an interesting to watch for the rest of this game. Walker versus Alonso, especially when Chelsea go forward, because there seems to be a bit of argy-bargy going on between the two of them. Foden there tries to pick out De Bruyne, but Kovacic has picked it up, and Foden might have got himself in the book there for that as well. I'm not sure quite what Rodri's doing there. The ball was still moving, and Kovacic went to pick up the ball, and Rodri's trying to tackle Kovacic. I have no clue what was going on there. No clue whatsoever. Chelsea still in it, though. Lovely ball over the top there from Thiago Silva, looking for... I nearly said Kepa then. I meant to say he's Azpilicueta. Chelsea actually in City's half, which is a breath of fresh air. Rudiger. Silva. Back into Rudiger. Finds Pulisic, who finds Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta is going to roll it into Kovacic. Good play there by Chelsea. Ziyech cuts back outside and goes towards Christian Pulisic. Chelsea have bodies in the box here. Christian Pulisic rolls it back to Ziyech. Ziyech will look to clip one in. De Bruyne has done his defensive duties well there. Falls to Rudiger. Rudiger, has he been fouled there? Referee says no. Jack Grealish picks up the ball, skips past Ziyech. City might be able to counter-attack here, but that's really good defending there by Chelsea. And Chelsea might be able to counter-attack the counter-attack with Hakim Ziyech. Here's Christian Pulisic. Pulisic has Azpilicueta wider, uses it, rolls it into Kovacic. 1 minute of added time at the end of the first half. Can Chelsea get themselves at least an opportunity and a shot on target in this first half? Come on, Chelsea. That's all I'm rooting for now. That final third pass just isn't quite there. There was an option there to roll that into Lukaku, but Thiago Silva opted out of it. Malang Sarr here. We've got 30 seconds left to play in this first half. Chelsea need to do something with the ball here. Thiago Silva, will he find Azpilicueta? He's in loads of space. Yes, he does. Azpilicueta, going to roll it into Pulisic. Pulisic turns out, rolls it into Lukaku's feet. This is better from Chelsea. Finally. Oh, but Pulisic's pass is awful. 10 seconds left of this half. Chelsea still have the ball inside the City half. Are they going to get the ball up the field? Nah, they're going to play it around the back, and I'm pretty certain the referee's going to blow the whistle unless Thiago Silva gets a move on, and that is it. That is half-time. Whew. Whew. That is half-time, and my God, was that a busy first half. A busy first half of nothing really happening. That's the best way to say it. A busy first half of nothing really happening. And City probably deserved to be ahead. Grealish should have scored. I'm sure if you were to look at their XG or whatever, pretty certain City deserve to be ahead in this game at the moment. And, oh my gosh, Chelsea defended really well, though, for the most part. A few mistakes starting to creep in there towards the end. I think halftime has come at a perfect time for Chelsea in terms of their fight against Manchester City. Man City, though, will go into halftime, and I'm sure Pep will be annoyed that they haven't made the most of this pressure. It's not often that you go to, you play against Chelsea and have that much possession and that much ability on the ball and that much freedom and time on the ball at times to do what you want and yet not take the lead. It's very difficult. Shah says, why are you streaming Newcastle versus Watford. I think that's going to be an entertaining game, I think that's going to be an entertaining game, obviously. Kieran Trippier's first game back in the Premier League for Newcastle United. Chris Wood, hopefully we'll see him in a Newcastle shirt today as well. And, of course, Watford, relegation battle. I don't know what you mean, dead game, Shah. Dead games are Manchester United games, if you ask me. And let me inspect the title. Nice one, Fraser. Nice one. Anyway, let's have a look for us, guys. I'm going to actually take a dive and I'm going to look at the stats, because whether I'm just the person being hectic, I don't know. But this half-time, you guys need to get in the chat. Let me know, who do you think City should be ahead? Because I think part of my problem is I'm letting my Chelsea head get to me and say, actually, Chelsea have defended really well, phenomenally well. They don't deserve to be ahead. But it is Manchester City. They're creating opportunities. They're moving the ball fast in wide attacking areas as well. And so you expect City to do that and to get themselves more clear-cut opportunities. But at the moment, they've not really had one. Right, let me go on Sofa Scores, and I'll share my screen for you guys in a quick jiffy. I'll get the thing all ready for us, and then we can have a look. We can take a dive, look at the stats, that type of thing, and have a little talk. So what I need to do is I need to remove this and then remove this. Hello. This ruins my complete scene here, but this is how I'm actually set up. But let's have a look. Let me share my screen, and we'll have a dive into the halftime stats for us, guys. And let me just zoom you all in as well, because I realise, not that far in, jeez. I realise that that's quite a long way out. So on your left-hand side here, you can see the stats from this first half. Ball possession, as I spoke about, Manchester City in those wide areas, absolutely dominating possession this first half. And it's been, if I wasn't a Chelsea fan, I'd say it's been a breath of fresh air, because City have been really, really good on the ball. And I like watching Manchester City. As much as I hate to say it, I do like watching Manchester City because they are phenomenal on the ball. And I think we've seen that. We've seen that so far. 63% ball possession, and the pressure as well on Chelsea has been absolutely phenomenal. So Chelsea struggling to get out and make the most of the ball when they've got it. As you can see, complete obliteration here. City absolutely all over Chelsea. Chelsea yet to register a shot in this game, and Lukaku maybe should have taken that shot. He maybe should have taken that shot early on when he burst through, got himself away from John Stones. He probably should have shot instead of rolling that into Hakim Ziyech. Chose instead to do the latter. Rolled it into Hakim Ziyech, who was offside. So, excuse me. So Chelsea, they do need to be more clinical in front of goal. And of course, if you don't shoot, you don't score as a general rule of thumb, unless you're playing Spurs, and then they'll do it for you. And corner kick wise, again, expected. There's not really too much that surprises you about this game. If you look at the attacking momentum, look at that. Look at that there for you guys. Look at that. All Manchester City in that first half. I think halftime has come at a really good time for Chelsea. A really, really good time for Chelsea. Because, as you can see from that whole wave of just intense pressure from Manchester City has been relentless. It has been relentless. As you can see, just these three little breaks in time where Chelsea have actually been able to get on the ball themselves and play the ball about. Let's have a look at what was I going to look at. I was going to look at key passes so far. Wow, that's actually quite surprising. I don't know what this is behind Jack Grealish's name here, but Jack Grealish so far 2 key passes. I'm guessing one of those will be the one to De Bruyne, which forced the save out of Kepa. But key passes wise as well, City maybe should be doing a little bit better as well. Does it come up with the XG for these? I don't think it does at the moment, but I'm sure their expected goals would be helpful. The thing is, with this result, it doesn't really hinder City and it doesn't really help Chelsea, which is probably the biggest issue of them all. Let's just have a look at the teams whilst we've got them here. John Stones, despite, like I said, being rolled by Romelu Lukaku, according to Sofa Score, having a decent game so far. Raheem Sterling, I think that's a bit unfair. I'd say Sterling, for me, has probably been one of the best players in a Manchester City shirt so far. He's caused lots of problems for Marcus Alonso in particular. But Malang Sarr, look at him with his 6.9 rating. For me, he's been man of the match for Chelsea so far. I think that's going to be, I think it's an obvious one because he's been so phenomenal so far. He's kept Raheem Sterling pretty much quiet and Bernardo Silva, and he has helped with Marcus Alonso and Hakim Ziyech's defensive duties on that left-hand side. So I think Malang Sarr is definitely the player to watch. Kepa obviously has got that 7.1, and I assume that'll be because he's made an important save. If it was like a key save, I assume, against Jack Grealish. Grealish probably should have found the back of the net there to make that City 1. Shots on target so far 3 for Manchester City. But to be honest with you, I don't think City have had any really that other than that one from because there was a header from John Stones, wasn't there? There was the shot from Kevin De Bruyne, which I mentioned earlier, and then the shot which they're showing on the screen now of from Jack Grealish. And I think Grealish is the only one where you say, actually, I think that should find the back of the net. But those are the stats at halftime, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Why have we got 102 messages in the chat? I will never know. Let's have a look. Let me get through. And what I need to do is I need to add the overlay back on the screen and get myself confused. And then add this again and do that. There we are. Sorted. Let me have a look at the chat as well then, guys, because there seems to be a lot of messages in the chat for some reason. I don't know why it just came up saying 102. Where did we get up to? Maybe that's in the whole time. It just came up saying there was notifications. Man United have no place to call out other teams. Dead club. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, Aaron. Who do you support? The team that dominated a terrible Manchester United team before Christmas. Dead match, to be honest. Quite exciting. I'm a CFC fan all the way. Good to have you in, Matthew. Good to have you in. Lovely to see a fresh new face in there. What have you made to the first half? I think it's been a difficult one. Difficult first half for Chelsea so far. For the vast majority of this first half, it's been really, really difficult. And I am nervous for the second half, but I think to get in at halftime, the best thing Chelsea could have done was get in at halftime at 0-0, because it's with any game. I always say this. I say this whenever you come up against a top quality side, which is obviously a team that's better than you. Every team, in one game, there is a team that is better than the other, or ideally. That team today is obviously Manchester City. With the form that they are in, they are a much better side than Chelsea. But the longer that Chelsea run this time down, and because it is Chelsea and City get in their own heads about Chelsea, the longer this game runs itself into sort of like the 60th, 70th minute, the longer it plays into Chelsea's hands, and the better opportunities and chances and the better opportunity for Chelsea to win will come about. And I think that's Chelsea's. I think Chelsea will be looking at this sort of being sat here at halftime, being sat here at 0-0, and I think they'll be pleased with it. Especially, I think Kepa will be filled with confidence as well after that save as well. Both teams have leaky defenses, so there could be goals. It definitely could be goals. Definitely could be goals in this game. Definitely could be goals. Afternoon, Ali. How are we doing? How are we doing, mate? How are you doing? Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are for this first half, other than just saying dead match. Dead match? Ugh, bit me tongue there. Dead match like Matthew. Let me know, what have you thought of this first half? Are you as optimistic as I am that this second half is going to go differently, or do you think it's going to be Manchester City all the way? The thing is, you can only see it as Manchester City all the way at this moment in time. The football will be back in a few moments for you guys. It will be back in a few moments. We are just going through the final halftime ad break, which is always exciting and fascinating. And like I said earlier, this game, if the result finishes like this, it doesn't really... Where did I put my phone case? Oh, it's all the way over there. It doesn't really do either side. It doesn't do City not a favour, but it doesn't do Chelsea any favours. So it doesn't hinder City and it doesn't help Chelsea, which is probably the most important part about this result if it is at 0-0. in terms of for people like Fraser, who sat there as a Liverpool fan, I still think Liverpool fans will want Chelsea to win today. Obviously, I know that means Chelsea move further points ahead. But if Chelsea win, it drags City back into this title race a bit more. It drags them back. And Liverpool have a game in hand on Chelsea. They've got a game against Brentford. So you'd imagine they're still going to be, you'd like to think, obviously, barring, a really, really good performance like Brentford did at the beginning of the season. They've maybe not been there at the moment. But rather than barring that sort of a good performance, you've got to wonder, will they progress? Will they move on? And, Liverpool will sit there and they'll look at this game and go, 0-0 isn't bad for us. But if Chelsea win, that could be a really, really good opportunity. Could be a really good opportunity for them, for Liverpool to make some ground as well, because, they'll be they're 10 points ahead of Chelsea now, 11 points ahead of City. City lose today. Liverpool win 2, 5 points behind. Then all of a sudden, that is a manageable amount of points for Liverpool and Chelsea potentially to catch up. I don't know if Liverpool still have City to face, so that is the only problem, though. You will have to rely on other teams to take points from them. We'll have to rely on other teams to take points from them. I only got the last 20 minutes or so. Nice interplay by City and good defending by Chelsea, not clicking in the final third for City. It just looks like you could see by those stats, for all that possession and all that sort of momentum, 5 shots for Manchester City. I think they'll be really disappointed with that, and I agree. At the moment, it's just not quite there. And yes, the possession play is brilliant. I think it's fantastic. They're doing really well. But I just think that Chelsea, they'll build into this game a little bit more in the second half, and they've put themselves in a nice position to do so. But Sam, do we think 5 points is manageable versus teams like City who can just turn on like that? Yeah, but the thing is, Fraser, 5 points. If you're 5 points behind, the pressure is on Manchester City. There's no doubts there. The pressure is on. If you're 10 points behind, there's no real pressure because they've got 3 games in the bank. They can play how they want. If they drop a point, it doesn't really matter. You still, at the minute, they're 11 points behind, so they're still 8 points ahead, which is still 2 games and 2 draws. So there is... The 5 points might seem a lot, and City are a phenomenal team, but all it takes is for City to draw against, I don't know, a Crystal Palace, or drop points against a Crystal Palace, like they've been known to do over the last couple of years, a Leicester, someone like that, and then all of a sudden, they drop points, so they lose another game. Liverpool, Chelsea, right back in the title hunt, and they'd be 2 points behind. Obviously, that's all hypothetical. A lot has to happen for that. Chelsea have to win today. Liverpool would have to win both of their games. But it's not quite out of reach. And I think that's why Liverpool fans should be back in the Chelsea blue today, because it's the best result for them. Because rather than just City gaining extra points on you, it's Chelsea taking away 3 massive, massive points. It's big doubts. It is, yeah, but we're talking hypothetically here, Fraser. I can tell you're a Liverpool fan because you're proper pessimistic. You look forward to it. It's like you can play one game at a time. You look at this game, you've got to hope for Chelsea. You can only play what is in front of you. And that's what Chelsea are doing at the moment. Chelsea are the first team to come out in the second half. And quickly followed there by Manchester City's sky blue team. And so we'll be back underway in a couple of moments here. Let me know, guys, if you have changed your score prediction. Afternoon, Max. How are we doing, mate? How are we doing? Let us know your score prediction for the second half, ladies and gents. We'll be underway shortly. Who comes out on top here? Chelsea, City, or will it be a draw? Phil Foden's about to get us underway here, ladies and gents. the real Slim Shady himself. And there we are, underway for this second half. A huge, monumental second half here needed from Chelsea to change the momentum and switch the tide. But they'll be pleased with that first half to go in at 0-0. How are your nerves? How are your nerves? Max is saying 1-0 City, and I think Matthew is saying 1-1. That's a lovely ball from Cancelo to find Grealish. Grealish up against Aspilicueta here. Pulls it back to Rodri. Walker. Raheem Sterling up against Marcus Alonso. He's going to try move his way in, but Ziyech has come back to do his defensive duties as well. Credit where credit's due. I criticise Ziyech quite a lot in terms of his, his attacking output, and sometimes his passing display and distribution isn't great. But defensively today, Ziyech has been really good for Chelsea, dropping back in and doubling up on Sterling and Bernardo Silva, who've been looking to exploit Marcus Alonso. Well read there by Kovacic. And Romelu Lukaku, man, you're a professional footballer. How can your first touch be like that? De Bruyne now is going to pull one across the box. Is that a penalty? Oh, Malang Sarr, there was no need to do that. No need to do that. VAR is going to take a look at that almost certainly. It was a ball in from Kevin De Bruyne. Raheem Sterling's nowhere near it. And I don't know if Malang Sarr's just like unsightedly grabbed him and just sort of, he's come out of his blind side, and Malang Sarr's arm is, he's just pulled whatever was coming near him. But it was clumsy from Malang Sarr, who's had a really good game so far. City with their tails up, though. Here goes Kovacic, though. He's going to run over Lukaku. Lukaku, is this his opportunity? What a save that is by Edison. Falls to Ziyech. Ziyech! Oh, over the bar. Oh, Lukaku should have taken that further in. But the ball was on his left foot. That's the thing. Oh, he should have taken that further in, I think. But it's a great save from Edison. A really good save from Edison, and Ziyech with the follow-up. Maybe should have got the ball down. Oh, gosh. I'm guessing there's no VAR check on that goal now, because we're back underway with the goal kick. So that is Chelsea's first shot on target, though. And their second shot, which is their first shot off target, which is brilliant. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I thought for a second Lukaku was Chelsea were going to go up the other end in a bit of a smash and grab situation. Rodri does really well there to beat the press of Kovacic. Kovacic tries to flick it to Lukaku. That might fall to Pulisic there. Well read by Aymeric Laporte. Here goes Phil Foden looking to switch the ball up to Raheem Sterling. Good touch there by Sterling. Brilliant ball as well by Foden. Credit where credit's due. Foden cuts inside, goes back outside again. He's going to try pull one across. Good defending by Malang Sarr. Swept in again by Phil Foden. De Bruyne was waiting. Falls to Foden again. Oh my gosh. It's 180 mile an hour at the moment from Chelsea and City. That's a really good ball from Lukaku. But Kyle Walker's never going to be outpaced there, is he? God, Kyle Walker's never going to be outpaced there by Hakim Ziyech. Stephen McManaman's laughing because of how quickly Kyle Walker caught up Ziyech there. Pulisic with a bit of space. Pulisic continues. Rolls it into Marcus Alonso. Alonso's going to shoot from range, not the decision, but we're getting some shots off. The point is we're getting shots off, and that is important, because in that first half, the one big criticism of Chelsea is you don't shoot, you don't score. And at least they're taking the opportunities. They're trying to get a shot off. It was Marcus Alonso, actually, and not Malang Sarr, who just had a bit of a tug on Raheem Sterling. To be honest with you, I think Sterling, the reason he's gone down, it's not a dive, but I think the reason he's gone down is because he's trying to stretch for the ball. And so, I know a lot of people criticize Sterling, and some people will be very quick to jump and go, yes, he's dived there. But I don't think that is. I think that is Sterling trying to stretch to get the ball. And because his arm's been pulled back, he's not been able to stretch, if in that sort of natural motion rather than it being a dive. Max says, who's been better? So far, in terms of general possession in that first half, it was all Manchester City. All Manchester City. Chelsea didn't register a shot on target in that first half. Defended well, but City absolutely all over the royal blue of Chelsea. And Sterling's won the ball back here from Marcus Alonso high up the pitch. Here's Raheem Sterling looking for Jack Grealish, falls to Foden. Headed clear. Oh my gosh, it's pinging around here. Might fall to De Bruyne this time. Falls out instead, though, to Bernardo Silva, who Rodri can then find João Cancelo. It is 100 mile an hour at the moment. Jack Grealish in the Chelsea box here, trying to work up a shooting opportunity or a potential passing opportunity. Kevin De Bruyne finds Rodri. Rodri tries to turn out. Chelsea putting that press on. Mateo Kovacic has just stepped up a little bit just to help out with in sort of the more attacking third of the Chelsea press. And that's a poor ball there from, I think that was Kevin De Bruyne that was a poor ball for. And that will just give Chelsea a little bit of respite there as that went out for a Chelsea throw-in inside the Chelsea half. Pep isn't happy, though, looking at things. Isn't happy. Jeff Sterling, greater than Raheem Sterling. I mean, I'm sure in terms of commentary, I'm sure that yes. But I'm not sure in terms of football playing. Oh, my gosh. That sentence didn't form properly, and that was because Aspilicueta taking a few chances there as the ball pinged up off his left foot and his right foot. Man City's last 11 games, won 11. Drawn none, obviously. Lost none, obviously. And they've only conceded 7 goals in 11 games. And when they play like this, you can see why. Grealish goes to the byline, looks to pull one across there, but there's no City players in the box there. That is maybe what they do lack when they do get players down to the byline, because they don't have that recognised number 9. That is maybe what they do lack, that person who's going to get in the box and cause the defenders problems and bust a gut to get in there, because all of the City players want to stand off and step back. And Kyle Walker's won a free kick at the edge of the box there. Not sure how much contact was in that. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, there wasn't much contact in it. Wasn't much contact. But he has made contact with him. So a free kick for City here in a really, really dangerous position. Just slightly off centre here as well. If it was the other way around, I'd say it'd be Marcus Alonso territory. So it might be a Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva territory. But Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva are the men over the ball at the moment. Let's see who's going to take this. I think it'll be Kevin De Bruyne to do an outswinger. It is De Bruyne, and he's put it in, and it's gone straight into the hands of Kepa Arrizabalaga there. Easy one for Kepa to come and collect. If you are enjoying this stream, guys, do be sure to drop a like on the stream for us. That'd be greatly appreciated. And if you are new, do consider subscribing as well. It's totally free, and you can always unsubscribe if you get fed up with me. That's the best way to say it. 53 minutes on the clock. City still dominating possession, starting the second half as they did the first. But Chelsea have been better in this second half so far than they have been in the first. Need David Silva on it. Yeah, that would have been a good position, actually, for David Silva, that. Admittedly, that would have got confusing because we'd have Bernardo Silva, David Silva, and Thiago Silva all on the pitch at the same time. And I don't think I can deal with having to switch between that so often. I'll just call everyone Silva. John Stones switches the play. Good touch there from João Cancelo. Finds Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Going to try and get the ball down here, City, and just try and do something. Chelsea is standing so firm at the moment. When Chelsea defend, they drop into a 5-4-1, which is causing them all kinds of problems at the moment. That's a good ball, though, from John Stones over the top towards Kyle Walker. Raheem Sterling. Kyle Walker, for some reason, decided to stand off the pitch rather than playing. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. Oh, Marcus Alonso. Oh, and the offside flag. Oh, my God. Oh, the offside flag saved us. Oh, my gosh. Kyle Walker, I thought he was offside. I didn't say it because they were just like all playing on, but he is offside. Yes. Oh my gosh. I thought he was offside. I did think he was offside, but Sterling did really well. But Marcus Alonso, it's clumsy. Very, very clumsy. But the thing is, as soon as, Ooh. It doesn't matter though, does it? It doesn't really matter because it's offside. It is offside. Oh my gosh. We've been saved. It was a definite pen. Definite pen. But Kyle Walker was offside in the build-up. So remember Aguero's Panenka? Yeah, that was brilliant, wasn't it? Here's Kante, who's won the ball high up the pitch here. We haven't maybe seen the defensive contribution from N'Golo Kante in this game. And Marcus Alonso there switched off, and he's given the ball away. But Malang Sarr might be able to recover this. He does, and rolls it back to Kepa. And Kepa, taking no chances there, has kicked it out for, well, it didn't go out for a throw-in. Sterling's picked it up, and Sterling's found De Bruyne on the edge of the box. And Kante, there we are. That's what I wanted, N'Golo. That's what I wanted. A good footing against Kevin De Bruyne there. And Chelsea, Marcus Alonso is having a mad 2 minutes here. A mad 2 minutes. He keeps giving the ball away. Rodri tries to shoot, and it's a City corner. Chelsea on the edge here. Is it off? If it's not off, it's a pen. Yes, that's true. It is off. He was offside. City with another corner here. This must be their 8th and 9th corner here, Manchester City. Foden's going to whip it in. Oh my gosh. Aspilicueta there. I thought he put it in his own net. He won the header at the front post, but he flicked it back towards his own goal there. And just for a second from the camera angle, it looked like it was going to find the back of his own net. Sorry, Sam, closed the tab by mistake. Fair enough. You must have been behind. He was appealing for a free kick there, Aspilicueta. It is 8 corners now for Man City on this one, so shows the dominance in comparison to Chelsea's 0. Foden's going to whip it in. Aspilicueta, same job again on that front post. Chelsea option to counter-attack here, but Ziyech has given the ball away to Rodri, who's done really well. Cancelo looks to clip it forward towards Jack Grealish, but Thiago Silva's got over there. Chelsea, can they play the way out here? Oh, every time the ball goes back towards the goalkeeper, I hate it. Doesn't matter who the goalkeeper is, I just hate it. It was clipped forward there by Kepa, looking for Lukaku. Chelsea keep having to go back to Kepa. This press from Manchester City is relentless. And they've given the ball away again. Max says his nose is offside. His nose is offside. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, his nose is offside. Nice. I can see so many empty seats. I mean, I can't, to be honest with you. But I haven't seen like the full stadium. So, and obviously some of it is COVID dependent as well. So there might be a few things in place. And Phil Foden's given the ball away to Kante there. And Kante might be able to drive an attack here for Chelsea. Kante finds Hakim Ziyech. Ziyech, we need a bit of magic from you, mate. And he's been fouled there by Kevin De Bruyne on the halfway line. So that'll give Chelsea the bit of respite that they need and were most certainly wanting. 58 minutes on the clock. It's been all Manchester City pretty much so far. I think Lukaku with the only real big opportunity other than that Jack Grealish opportunity in the first half where Grealish should have scored. But in terms of Chelsea, Lukaku should have scored, if I'm honest with you. Oh. An exciting game, but my God. Come on, Chelsea. We need it so much as well. We need it. Liverpool need it. We need it. Chelsea, they're being very negative with their passing here. They're trying to get themselves on the ball and apply pressure, but that was better from Chelsea. But they just go back to the keeper all the time, and that's the problem. They just go back to the keeper at the minute. And I think it's because Chelsea haven't got the possession that they potentially want/need. Oh, my gosh. Did you see Man City overtook Man United in revenue for the first time? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because City have obviously won the league. And so that gets you an extra financial boost and Champions League and stuff like that. And was it last season? It was last season, wasn't it, that United got knocked out of the Champions League and played Europa League and obviously didn't win it. So they were both runners up, but there's a lot of money in the Champions League as well. So it doesn't surprise me because I'm sure there are lots of whether you say that they're fans or whether you say that they're spectators at the Etihad. But there is a lot of money that still comes into the club either way. So it doesn't surprise me that they're now eventually overtaking, especially with the amount of money they're spending as well. They're going to, sooner rather than later, you'd imagine, start to overtake. Walker finds Raheem Sterling here. That's better from Marcus Alonso. Much better there. Nicks the ball straight off his toe. Kovacic the ball is going into Kovacic so often for Chelsea here. Here's Bernardo Silva in the penalty box though. Malang Sarr is just going to stand him up, and that's going to ricochet its way into Kepa Arrizabalaga's hands. But the ball is going into Kovacic so often at the moment, it's causing problems because Kovacic obviously likes to get the ball down, but they're giving the ball to him at the edge of the Chelsea box, and he likes to take on a couple of players and just get the ball out. He's pretty much press-proof most of the time, but because of how intense this City press is, he can't do that, and he can't get the ball down, and so he needs like a Jorginho or someone on there in that middle of the park who's going to, take control of the ball, because Kante's very quick to distribute it to him himself. Arsenal are abusing COVID rules. They only have one player with COVID and they want to postpone their game because they have injuries and AFCON players. I mean, there's a lot of players who are like that. A lot of teams who are like that anyway. Alonso looks forward there for Romelu Lukaku. It was right idea, but didn't quite have enough power on the ball there. Ederson there looks for Jack Grealish, who's fouled by Antonio Rudiger on the halfway line. Yeah, I think there's a bit of it from everyone going on, if I'm honest with you. Jack Grealish here, he dances through a couple of players. There's no foul there for me. Referee, come on, ref, pull the other one. He was already falling. Grealish makes a mistake. He's already falling, man. That is a dive, if you ask me. There's no contact. Oh, you little diver, Jack Grealish. There's no contact whatsoever there. That is actually a dive there. If that goes in, that's going to be this free kick goes in. It's going to be really controversial because that is a dive. Grealish makes a mistake, makes a dodgy touch. Azpilicueta goes to almost like put out a long barrier, sticks a leg out, but moves his leg out the way before Grealish even gets anywhere near him. And Grealish has flopped on the floor like a fish, like he does. That's 100% a dive. 100%. Why can't we have VAR to overturn stuff like this? Because if this goes in now, there's going to be massive questions around Jack Grealish here. De Bruyne is going to take it, and it's good save though from Kepa. So, but it has gone behind for another City corner. So that is the debate with VAR as well. Why can't they intervene in stuff like that? Jack Grealish, for me, there is clearly dived. De Bruyne is going to go out and take this corner following the free kick. Whipped in, try to put that on Kepa there. It's flapped at, and Bernardo Silva and Foden have gotten in each other's way. And Ziyech might be able to lead a counter-attack here. Romelu Lukaku trying to charge through the middle. Ziyech goes instead to Marcus Alonso. Man City have got every single man back so quickly. They're so quick to get everyone back. Chelsea just can't do anything. Oh, that was a heavy pass from Rodri looking for Ederson. And Ederson's had to hoof the ball clear without even thinking about it there. Ederson, really poor ball. Grealish has been sniped. He genuine. Honestly, that was awful from Grealish. Referee not giving a handball there. It was quite close, but it definitely was a handball by N'Golo Kante. Silva finds Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta does well, actually, to get away from Kevin De Bruyne. Chelsea just look a little bit on edge at the moment. City's pressure, I think, is bound to tell. I've got a City goal coming, if I'm honest with you. If Chelsea score in this game, I'd be very, very, very surprised, if I'm brutally honest with you. I think it's going to be a difficult final 25 minutes for the Chelsea boys in blue, because the pressure is just sustained and just so high. It makes it so difficult to even get out. But surely they're going to crack. Let's have a look at City's. I don't know why I said it like that. City's subs. In terms of subs, they've got Ruben Diaz, Fernandinho, Ilkay Gundogan, and Gabriel Jesus. So they have got plenty of talent on the bench. They've just maybe not got as much as Chelsea. You've got Loftus-Cheek, Saul, Ross Barkley, Jorginho, Mason Mount, Hudson-Odoi, Timo Werner, and Kai Havertz. So the longer this game goes on, though, I do think it's almost playing into Chelsea's hands. But who knows? Who knows? Rudiger clips it down the line. Here's N'Golo Kante. Kante, is he going to look forward and try pass it? No, he's been bundled off the ball there. Referee plays advantage, though. Kovacic is trying to turn out. Referee deems there to be no advantage there. Kovacic turning back on himself. Why did you tell me to put Mount in my FPL? I didn't. You went, should I put Mount in? And I went, yeah, all right. So that's your fault, Yusuf. That is your fault. I've only just noticed as well, Yusuf, your YouTube name's just your last name with like the Y from Yusuf on the end. I couldn't work out what it was from, but that's just me being stupid. Chelsea have themselves a corner here. Marcus Alonso done well to win himself a corner, whip one in, bounced off Kyle Walker. 10 people in the chat. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to drop a like if you are enjoying. Oh, BT Sport, don't do this to me now, mate. It's just cut off. Don't do this to me now. No. I didn't even get to see the corner now. Apologies. Chelsea win the ball back up high up the pitch here. Do they? It's been given to Chelsea. Yes, come on. That's high up the pitch as well. Oh, it was a City ball. Okay. I thought we got away with one. It's my Gmail, lol. Fair enough. It just threw me off because I was trying to like pronounce it, but the Y on the end totally threw me off because I don't know how to pronounce the D-I-A-Y together. Like, how would you pronounce that? I don't know how you're supposed to respond to me for that either, but oh, God. João Cancelo into Aymeric Laporte. Max wants a goal. I want a Chelsea goal, but I think a City goal is the one that's coming, if I'm honest with you. I think it is a City goal that's going to be coming. Cancelo finds De Bruyne, finds Grealish. Grealish looks for a back heel there, and De Bruyne might be able to get away there. And that's a brilliant tackle from Antonio Rudiger. What a tackle that is on Kevin De Bruyne. The referee just comes over to intervene because it was a really hefty tackle, but De Bruyne saw nothing wrong with it either. It was a brilliant tackle to send that one out of play. Chelsea might be able to attack themselves. That's a better touch from Lukaku, and that's... Oh, is that a foul from Rodri? Referee says no. Raheem Sterling up against Malang Sarr. Sterling! Oh! Just wide there. Chelsea adamant that was a foul. I think it's actually a good tackle there. I think there's a foul from Bernardo Silva, not from Rodri. Rodri does touch the ball, and then Bernardo Silva fouls Romelu Lukaku. But Sterling there, inches away. I think Kepa would have had it, but inches away from taking the lead and opening the scoring for Manchester City. The first change of today is coming. It will be Christian Pulisic for Timo Werner. So that is the first substitution, and Hakim Ziyech is coming off as well, and Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to be coming on the field for Chelsea. So those are the two changes. Still no Mount, still no Jorginho for Chelsea, which you'd have thought, especially still at 0-0, would be the first changes. But maybe Hudson-Odoi's there is a bit of a, he doesn't necessarily have the ability to defend, that well, but because he is maybe a bit more defensively minded now that Tuchel likes to play him as a wing back, maybe that's part of the reason that he's come on, just so then he can double up and help out. But you could maybe say that Mason Mount was doing that, can do that as well. So interesting one for Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel. Will it be a stroke of genius or a moment of pure, idiocy is probably the best way to put it. We will find out. Timo Werner obviously caused so many problems. Kante tries to tactically foul De Bruyne there. De Bruyne shoots. Oh my God, what a goal that is from Kevin De Bruyne. What a finish that is. He does it every time he plays Chelsea. Every time. I told you the pressure was mounting. It was coming. It was so obvious that it was coming. It was so obvious that it was coming from Kevin De Bruyne and Manchester City. And that's a brilliant finish. A brilliant finish from Kevin De Bruyne, the former Chelsea man. A really, really good finish. But Kante tries to bring him down. He knows what's happening. But then Thiago Silva, the criticism there, should he come out quicker? I think so. I think Thiago Silva needs to close down the area quicker, especially when you've got a man like Kevin De Bruyne stood at the edge of the box with a ball at his feet, looking to bend one in that far corner. I think he should come out quicker, you know. I do think he should come out quicker, and Chelsea find themselves 1-0 down here. And it's not against the run of play whatsoever, but not what Chelsea will have wanted at all. Not what Chelsea will have wanted. And no surprises there that Pep Guardiola celebrates. No surprises there because it's been a slog. Chelsea have been resilient for quite a long time, and it's been a decent defensive performance. But City, they just can't get the ball back off City. Can I get my ball back, please? They just can't. They just cannot. And Kevin De Bruyne opening the scoring on 70 minutes. And it's not surprising whatsoever that City have taken the lead. They've been so good so far this game. But can Chelsea do something here? Long ball looking for Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi trying to get the ball down himself up against John Stones. Rolls it back into Marcus Alonso. Alonso's going to whip it in. It's Azpilicueta at the back post. Forces Werner. Good block there by Aymeric Laporte. That was better from Chelsea. They spreaded the play better there. But City, of course, they're going to stand strong. Of course they are. Oh, come on, Chelsea. Get a rocket up your backside, boys. Get a rocket up your backside. 20 minutes left. Kovacic, great tackle. Rolls it into Lukaku. Lukaku finds Kante. Kante. Oh, my gosh. It is full pace now. Fast pace. Kovacic finds Rudiger. Azpilicueta is going to whip one in. Headed clear by John Stones. City nearly getting each other's way. But somehow managed to retain possession. That shows how good City are. Wow, what a finish it was. It was a lovely finish. Oh, good interception there by Malang Sarr. Needed to make that. Sterling would have been in. It's open now, though. Really open. Chelsea are going to have to commit. Hudson-Odoi rolls it in. Werner at the back post. It's a bit high, though, for Timo Werner there, and he's only succeeded in giving the ball to João Cancelo. Oh, that puts City 13 points ahead, man. Kevin De Bruyne has gone down and stayed down. Is this the changing point for Manchester City? Is this the moment that switches the game to Chelsea's hands? Could this be the opportunity where the game changes? A sub needs to be made. Potentially a sub needs to be made that Kevin De Bruyne is now down. So maybe, just maybe, without their vice-captain. He's a brilliant finish, though, isn't it? Sometimes you just got to sit and admire. What a finish. Goal, Kevin De Bruyne, says Max. Man City wish they did this in the Champions League final. They might have done the double over us this season. Reminded me of myself, says Yusuf. I don't know why Max is rooting for City. I guess I do, but yeah, okay, I get it. City, hold on. Oh, how times change, eh? Chelsea need to do something now. They've got 15 minutes to change the game and potentially change the season and take... You've got to say City have one hand on the title now, don't they? They have one hand on the title. De Bruyne is back on the pitch for those wondering. God. It's going to go right down to the wire, I think, this one. Going to go right down to the wire. Rudiger looking long there for Timo Werner. Unsuccessful pass, though. Can we get ourselves up to 10 likes, please, guys? We are one away. If you haven't already, be sure to drop a like for us. Get us up to 10. It'd be absolutely fantastic stuff. A sympathy like for the fact that Chelsea are losing would be absolutely fantastic. They have 2 hands, 2 feet, and their lips on the trophy. They do, actually. They do. They have a massive presence on this Premier League trophy at the moment, but who knows where it's going to go, ladies and gents? Who knows? There's plenty of time still left in the season. You don't know what COVID or injuries, AFCON, whatever can bring. Kovacic finds Rudiger. Rudiger has a bit of space to drive into here. Finds Timo Werner. Werner looks for the feet there of Azpilicueta. Is he fouled? Referee says no. Rodri picks up the ball nicely into Bernardo Silva. City trying to get them play their way out here. It's just too easy for City. It is just too easy. City are simply sensational when they're like this. Cancelo pings one forward, looking towards Phil Foden there, and Malang Sarr with a really, really good interception and header red there. Come on, Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi, great turn. Really well played there by Hudson-Odoi. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mason Mount in a second. As a bit of a last-ditch attempt to get themselves a goal. The thing is, I don't even know who you'd bring him on for. Do you bring him on for Kante? Kante hasn't been great, if I'm honest with you. Max says we're on 10 likes. Brilliant. Thank you. Kante finds Kovacic. Azpilicueta. Werner. Oh, he tried to play it through the legs of Cancelo there. You've got to do a bit more than that to get through the legs of João Cancelo. De Bruyne is being closed down by 4. Chelsea are just half pressing at the moment, which is the problem why City can get out. Kovacic, though, has won the ball back nicely. Looks for Lukaku there, but Laporte's read it really well. Good defensive play again there by Kovacic to win the ball back. Here's Rudiger. Finds Kante. Come on, Chelsea. We need something. Yes, Max, it looks really good. Fraser's thing looks really good. Come on, Chelsea. We need something here. Oh, Kante, that was nearly the ball. Really good interception by Bernardo Silva. And here goes City with Phil Foden. But good defensive play there by Thiago Silva to get back. Yeah, Foden has dyed his hair again. The real Slim Shady. 13 minutes left. Come on, Chelsea. Please. Please. Come on. Thiago Silva switches it to Rudiger. Come on, Chelsea. Why is it taking you 77 minutes to actually get a half-decent run of possession? Simply because of how good Manchester City have been. Azpilicueta, he's got Hudson-Odoi in support, chooses instead to go for Rudiger, who then finds Hudson-Odoi, who finds Kante. Lovely play that to find Kante into Azpilicueta. Oh, he's crossed the box. Oh, Lukaku's the other side of him there. That goes in the back of the net. I tell you what, Edison's come out and done well. It's much better from Chelsea, spreading the play wide and getting bodies in the box. But, you know, they need to do more. They need to be more creative. They're lacking a creative spark. Oh, Chelsea, come on. It's just not going to happen for them. It really isn't. Malang Sarr, there we are. Lovely tackle, Malang Sarr. He's kept Sterling quiet for pretty much the entire game here, Malang Sarr. Really well played. That's a foul, definite foul. And now that's an opportunity as well to get the likes of Marcus Alonso, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Malang Sarr, get them into the box and get their heads on the ball. It definitely is a foul from Bernardo Silva on Marcus Alonso. Come on, Chelsea. Here he comes. This person, here he comes. He's going to be coming onto the pitch after this free kick. I should have just said Mount. That was too much. That was too much difficulty. Now we need a top 4 and relegation battle. I'd much prefer for it to be a title race because we've not really had one. We've not really had one the last couple of seasons. City have ran away with it, and it looks like they're going to do it now. Let's see. Can Chelsea get themselves a goal here from this set piece? Rudiger's in there. Sarr's in there. Lukaku's in there. That's a poor ball, though, from Hudson-Odoi. It needs to be better than that, mate. It needs to be much, much better than that. And City might be able to counter-attack here with Phil Foden. That's a good tackle, though, by Thiago Silva. That was a really big opportunity there for Chelsea to get players forward. And it's a poor cross. Here's Hudson-Odoi, who's going to try put another cross in. And that's another god-awful cross from Hudson-Odoi. What is that? Another god-awful cross. I know Werner's at the back post and you've got to put some power on it, but he's not plumbing Peter Crouch times 4. Jeez. Marcus Alonso is the man making way here. So Chelsea are going all-out attack by the looks of things, and they are bringing on Mason Mount for Marcus Alonso. So that'll tell you all you need to know about Chelsea's intentions here. Not happy for them to go down without a fight at least. Cancelo hoofs the ball clear. City holding on at the moment, but Chelsea are just starting to wriggle their way into this game just slightly. Aspilicueta. Don't forget, guys, after this game, we are going live again at 1:45. It might not be bang on 1:45, considering that'll give me like 20 minutes to eat. But we will be going live again this afternoon for Newcastle versus Norwich. So be sure, if you haven't already, get those notification bell switched on, and then you can make sure you never miss an SRL upload for you guys. We had a title race in 2018-19. Yeah, but it's more competitive when there's like 3 teams. And it's like the season before, was it? No, it was that season. That's the season you're on about. It wasn't really a title race because City were just always 1 point ahead. It wasn't like, oh, they've overtaken now. It was just City just being better than Liverpool by 1 point the whole time. It's better when you have a few teams all battling for the title and you don't know who's going to beat who. How long till Tuchel gets sacked? What are you on about, Oliver? This would be our first loss in 11 games. What are you on about? Mount's instantly putting the pressure on now that he's come on. But City, like, it's all well and good Mason Mount putting the press on here, but Chelsea need to press as a unit and as a team. And Ederson, when he can pick out passes like that to Kyle Walker, oh my gosh, what a switch that is. And now Walker can just dribble the ball up the field. Chelsea need to press as a whole, as a unity, but they're just not. Here's Bernardo Silva, who finds Kevin De Bruyne. Lukaku's down doing his shoelace up, so there's no point in pressing now. Because you're a man down. Yeah, but if you met Chelsea's owner, he's ruthless. He wouldn't sack him. Not for second in the league and Champions League winners. You wouldn't sack him. He's ruthless, but he's not an idiot. Foden picks up the ball. He's going to try drift inside, looking for Raheem Sterling there. Thiago Silva did get a foot on it, but Sterling nicked it back, and that's really well played by Raheem Sterling, who rolls it into Phil Foden over the bar. Over the bar from Phil Foden there. Probably should have hit the target if you ask me, but Chelsea living life on the edge, living dangerously as well. Oh, come on, Chelsea. Get yourselves up the pitch. Get yourselves a goal, man. Get yourselves a goal. If it's on North London Derby stream. When is it? I don't know when it is. That's the problem. 10 people in the stream at the moment. Be sure, if you haven't already, to drop a like for us if you are enjoying the stream. And, of course, do be sure as well, if you are new, to subscribe. It's totally free. And if you do find out that you don't like me, then you can always unsubscribe at any time. Gundogan is coming on for Kevin De Bruyne. So City's first change of the day in the 83rd minute. It doesn't get any easier for Chelsea, does it? It does not get any easier for Chelsea with Gundogan coming on. Come on, Chelsea. I'm giving up now. I am giving up. I'm going to sit and sulk. Tomorrow at 4:30, I might do. I'll see what I'm up to. Gundogan's in loads of space here, looking to find Raheem Sterling. Somehow does. Clipped in there, looking for Foden, cleared by Rudiger, falls as far as Bernardo Silva. Rodri goes to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is going to look to try cut on his left foot, pulls it back. Good save there by Kepa, and Kepa does really well, actually. If he's kept that on, he's done really well to stop that going out for another City corner. He has, by the looks of things, kept it on. Come on, Chelsea, 5 minutes. I'd take a point now. I would most certainly take a point. Oh, Chelsea give the ball away, though. Kovacic, is he able to win it back? Bernardo Silva does really well. Chelsea causing themselves problems here, and it's a time when they don't want to cause themselves problems. Chelsea, you're letting yourselves down, man. City have been too good today, but I guess that's what happens when you spend 50 million on every player. You spend 50 million on a bench warmer, and then you expect people to be shocked when you win the league. It's not really that shocking, is it? Come on, Chelsea. Rodri trying to turn out. Chelsea just aren't pressing as a unit. It's like Mount just running around like a headless chicken and no one else pressing. So City have all the time and space in the world. Like Rudiger there presses by himself. Werner there pressing by himself. There's no cohesion with this team. There really isn't any cohesion with this team, and it's making it difficult for Chelsea to actually progress themselves. That's won, though, by Lukaku from the big kick up the field. Here's Werner. Aspilicueta. Kovacic. Kovacic looking forward here. He's going to try drive forward. Foden coming back to mark him. Bit of a poor pass there, but Mount's done well to actually get the ball back and get it back to Kovacic. Kovacic goes wider there. Don't know why he's put that in the air to Malang Sarr, but he has. Sarr does well to bring the ball down. 3 minutes left. It's last chance saloon for Chelsea. Most certainly is. Max just said Tottenham 1, City 0. That's a good ball over the top looking for Lukaku, but Edison's, of course he is. He sweeps up and gets that. But that result isn't really relevant. If it's a bragging right, then we've got the bragging right. We just knocked you out, Max. So now's not really the time to be trying to brag about beating Manchester City. And Phil Foden is coming off as well, and Gabriel Jesus is coming on. So on comes Jesus. City's second sub, wasting a bit of time, of course. Chelsea need to get the ball forward urgently now, though. They do need to get it forward urgently. Here's Mount. Aspilicueta gives the ball away to Rodri. Kante with a brilliant tackle that time, Kante. And here go Chelsea potentially. Mount finds Werner. Werner driving it into the corner, looks to whip in across. And Laporte's done well to read it, but Mount's won it back off Laporte. Here is Hudson-Odoi who finds Mount. Mount's going to whip one in, looking for Lukaku. It's a bit of a missed clearance there from John Stones. Malang Sarr's underneath that. Kovacic tries to flick it towards a Chelsea player, but only succeeds in giving the ball away to Bernardo Silva. Here's Gabriel Jesus, who's instantly gone off the left-hand side here. And Jack Grealish is just giving away a Chelsea throw in there. Come on, Chelsea. We need a goal. Come on, boys. The fan, like the channel want to see it, Chelsea. So just give it us it, and then I can celebrate. And you know, the channel want to see it, so why not? Why not? It'd just be rude not to. It would be rude not to. Ben Foster's back in goal. Well, that screws my FPL over. Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Kante, Aspilicueta clips one forward. Is Werner offside? Of course he is. Of course he is. That might be the last opportunity for Chelsea. Can we stop watching the De Bruyne goal now, please? I don't want to keep watching it, thank you. I don't want to keep watching it. I don't. They've just given Kevin De Bruyne man of the match. Yeah, to be fair, he's been good. I'd say for Chelsea, it's been Malang Sarr. Malang Sarr's been really, really good for Chelsea. Really good. I've been really impressed with him. He's been brilliant, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I think it's hard to give it to anyone other than De Bruyne when you score a goal like that as well. It's hard to give it to anyone other than De Bruyne. Can Chelsea get themselves a potential opportunity to score? 3 minutes of added time at the end of this game. Rodri plays that a little bit short there to Walker, but Walker, of course, being Usain Bolt, is able to get the ball. City just don't look done, and now it's about game management for City. Bernardo Silva trying to run that one into the corner, and no foul, says the referee there. Chelsea have the throw in, but Kante's giving the ball away again. This is what I mean about Kante. He's one of the best, he's one of the most world-class footballers who cannot, and he's rubbish on the ball. He cannot play on the ball whatsoever, and he's rubbish on the ball. He's a world-class footballer, but he's just rubbish on the ball. There's so many players in the world better. City fans giving Chelsea fans some jip. Chelsea fans, of course, we just use our bragging right that we won the Champions League with our Champions League trophies. Sterling's going to glide past Rudiger there. Is that a penalty? Referee says no. Chelsea have a goal kick here. Chelsea needs to get the ball forward as fast as possible. I don't know why you're trying to play it out from the back here, Thiago Silva, mate. Get yourself up there. Be a target man. Get yourself up there. I don't care if we lose by 2. I prefer to lose by 2 and get Thiago Silva up the pitch and Kepa to someone to kick and aim at. But he's come all the way back at Chelsea again. Now Thiago Silva has the ball. This is part of the game management for Chelsea. This is part of the game management. Rudiger looks forward. Easily won again. Get someone forward. I don't care who it is. Get someone over 6 foot up front to help Lukaku out. He can't win everything in the air. You've got a minute left against, you're pretty much giving them the title at this point. I don't care if we lose by 2. I'd prefer to lose by 2 and go for it than just be rubbish going forward. Come on, Chelsea. Get the ball forward. Stop trying to play out from the back. You're 1-0 down in the 92nd minute, you absolute... Get the ball forward. Rudiger, get up the field. Why are we taking it short? Stop taking short free kicks. Oh, my God. We've got 10 seconds left. Get the ball up the field. Lukaku, get under that. That's a handball. Get the ball. Oh, my God. And City have got themselves a free kick here. And that's full time. And that's full time. Don't get me wrong. City absolutely deserve to win that. Absolutely. Miles the better team. Absolutely miles the better team. My problem is, in those final 3 minutes, why aren't Chelsea getting players to go up the pitch? Like Oliver says, Sam's getting angry. You would be angry. It's the 92nd minute. You're pretty much about to gift Manchester City a Premier League title. You're going to be however many points behind, 13 points behind. Get the players up the pitch. I don't care if you lose by 2. It doesn't make a difference for your season now. It doesn't make a difference. Get the players up the pitch. But they didn't. They were like, oh, yeah, let's play it out from the back in the 93rd minute when we're 1-0 down against the team that is the best pressing team in the planet. Ridiculous stuff from Chelsea. City deserved it. City were fantastic. Don't get me wrong. City were fantastic. Every minute of that game, City were fantastic. But Chelsea, in those final 10 minutes, the decision-making, poor from Chelsea. And to be honest with you, they were putting themselves under pressure all the time. All of the time, Chelsea were putting themselves under pressure. And, City definitely deserved to win. And now the league is theirs to lose. 100% theirs to lose. They're 13 points ahead. Obviously, Liverpool have 2 games in hand. So if Liverpool win both of those, they will be 7 points ahead, but even still. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys there because I am back on for a Newcastle stream in 20 minutes. So you guys enjoy whatever you're going to do. I'm going to get something to eat, and I'll see you back here on this channel in 20 minutes. See you in a bit, guys, and